We got here yesterday and we hit Los Cristianos in Tenerife, and we decided to stay a night. We just stayed there. There wasn't much going on. It wasn't really for us, but it was a good place just to kind of just chill out after like all the travel there. Then in the morning we caught the ferry. There's 2 ferries you can catch, 2 companies, and we caught a ferry to San Sebastian at La Gomera. Took about an hour, didn't take long at all. We just got a coffee there. Then we got a bus, I think on line 2 to Agulo, which is beautiful. I definitely would recommend this as a base stop for anybody. It's a stunning, stunning area. And we're going to stay here for a night, but we did walk down to the coast. That was beautiful, to that historic little site with the abandoned pier. And then we're just going to go for a beer tonight, and then tomorrow the real hiking starts, and we're going to head more inland through the forest to the campsite, and we're going to spend 4 nights at the campsite. Wild camping is technically not allowed, I believe, on La Gomera, but I think it's like England, like as long as you're seen and not heard, like it's okay, like you pitch up late and leave early, except for I believe in the national park where you have to be a little bit more careful. I think that's policed, so I don't think there's any staying there unless you're staying in the campsite. But yeah, so we've got our big packs that we need to take tomorrow. I think it's about 7.5 miles uphill to the campsite, and then we're staying there, and then we're going to chill out there for a few days. So we set off from Agulo today, and it is hard work going all the way down to the coast. And now we're heading, I think you pronounce it El Cedro, where the campsite is. I'll link the Old Trails map below, although that does go around a little bit further, but we're sort of stopping it at El Cedro. It's about 8 miles and about 1,000 meters in elevation, but the paths here are so different to England because like they're a bit cowboy, like they were just sort of like a bit more rustic, I'd say, but it is beautiful. And we're just stopping off in Hermigua now, just for a little bite to eat before we continue on. We've done about 2 miles so far. Am I underneath?
Yep.
Am I clear?
Yeah, keep going. Oh no, your jumper's caught.
much noise happening outside. But today's been kind of crazy, good crazy. But so we was just like, oh yeah, it's just a few miles, and you know, there's a little bit of elevation. It's nothing like different to like your average English peak, except the whole mileage was the elevation, if that makes sense. So it was like 7 miles of elevation basically, because it was so windy. Like it was like this all the way up, and a lot of quite scrambling, quite harsh. So it was hard work, but we made it, and we're now at a campsite called La Vista in El Cedro. You can hear those animals probably outside. So we arrived here, and we were planning on basing ourselves here for 4 nights, but the lady that runs it is kind of like abrupt, and she's actually quite rude, and the facilities here aren't actually that great. The restaurant's kind of closed. The camp shop doesn't have a lot going on there either. I don't know, but the views are beautiful. So we have considered potentially going down to Hermigua and finding some accommodation there, because the accommodation is so cheap here. You know, you can get a room. It's not quite as cheap as camping, because this is only €4 a night, but you can generally get an apartment for about €60. So we're going to sleep on it because we're tired and a little cranky. We're going to have a beer tonight, and maybe mull our options over, and then decide in the morning if we're going to camp here and base ourselves here for another 3 nights, or if we're going to go into Hermigua. But we haven't decided yet. The cockerels are still going strong. We decided we are going to book into a place for 3 nights instead of camping here, and it's a place in Hermigua, and yeah, I think it worked out at about £40 a night, £42 a night, something like that. So it's kind of a good price. And so I'll show you the showers in a sec, but they're completely communal and open to the elements. The toilet, like you can't flush toilet roll down there, so the toilet roll is going into a bucket. I don't know, maybe I'm just too English and it's like more European, I don't know. But if I would prefer to be wild camping, where I can, like, you know, bury this stuff, or get washed in a river or something, you know, it's just a little bit more private. And then to top it off, the woman is quite abrupt. So yeah, I don't know, we're just not feeling it here. It is beautiful though, it is so beautiful, and I love they've got loads of animals back there, and but yeah. Also, my water leaked last night and I hadn't completely closed the mouthpiece, which means, yeah, I don't know, I was like laid on my mat last night and I was like, it's quite cold, the ground's quite cold. Like, I'm colder than what I should be, because my sleeping bag's like a great warm sleeping bag. And yeah, and then we woke up this morning to like a pool of water on the tent floor, so that's not helped. So we're just trying to dry everything out now, so it's because everything's kind of soaked. And I'm kind of glad that we didn't notice it until the morning. Hello. Hello. Hola. So yeah, we're walking down to Hermigua today, which we go down the full elevation again. However, I don't think it's as many miles. I think it's a couple of miles. I think we went the real long way yesterday, you know, the same, you know, huge elevation over a 7-mile thing, because it was just like whoosh, whoosh, whereas this, I think we're going straight down like this. So it should be a lot simpler and a lot quicker. And then once we get to Hermigua, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing. So these are the showers. I don't know, is this like a European thing? Am I just too English? Because I really just didn't fancy washing all my sweatiness out after a long day's walk in front of other people, if you catch my drift. But I can't say I've had a shower before with this view, so this is a plus. How beautiful is that? Stunning. The temperature around here is very mixed as well. So you go to Tenerife and it's humid in February at this time of year. La Gomera is a little bit cooler. It's still quite warm, well, still very warm at this time of year. But then you get into the forest and it is quite noticeably cooler, just like, but still like a cool summer's day in England, if that makes sense. It's so nice to be in the sun in February.
Nice here.